Hello, English Journal readers, and welcome to our October edition of Ask Kimberly. This month, our reader asks, how can I get rid of the memory of my past failures and embarrassing experiences? They still haunt me and reduce my willingness to take necessary risks in my work and in my life. Get rid of them? What a terrible waste! Before you throw away these treasures, let's consider a few possible alternatives with tremendous potential, benefiting you and your work and your life. First, we can learn from failures and embarrassing experiences. Sure, it goes without saying that success is much more enjoyable, but our failures provide the most valuable learning opportunities of our lives. Personally, I was in physics graduate school, and I was supposed to get my PhD, and after 3 long years of successful course study, I realized that I did not want to be a physicist, and I left without my PhD. Now that did haunt me, that shame and regret, for several years. But finally, I realized that my personality, it's not suited to developing theories and conducting lab experiments and manipulating equations. I learned to follow my heart and do what I love instead of pursuing prestigious titles. It worked out great for me. Next, be grateful for these experiences, these growth opportunities. Sometimes what seems like a failure is a very fortunate redirection of our lives. Long ago, I worked at Hewlett-Packard, HP, for 10 torturous years. Now, at the time, HP was considered one of the best companies in the world to work for, but I was miserable there. Every Sunday evening, I'd get sick to my stomach just thinking about needing to go in there. But I was afraid to quit because I thought, hey, I'll never have a chance to work at another world-class company again. But every night I returned home exhausted and discouraged. I just didn't fit there. And one day I met a wise coach who told me, hey, Kimberly, your style is a terrible match for HP. You probably feel exhausted. And I did. So I quit. And it turns out, rather than being ashamed of that experience, now I realize being at Hewlett-Packard for 10 years was the perfect preparation for me to be in my consulting business today, which I've been running very successfully for the last 14 years. So now I feel lucky to have had this negative experience. Next, this is a very valuable technique. Tell a new story that fits the facts, but is more positive interpretation. Sometimes what we call failure, it's just merely our negative story that we're interpreting the facts in a negative way. And these same facts could make a different story. Very valid, very accurate, positive interpretation of what happened. I'll give you an example again from my own life. In the year 2000, I was very fortunate to join a startup in Silicon Valley. It was a spin-off from Xerox PARC. I was the vice president of program management and organizational effectiveness. Woohoo! I was finally an executive. I was so proud of that. Unfortunately, 7 months later, our entire company was destroyed, went out of business because of the dot-com bust. How can this be told positively? What possible positive story could we get in there? Well, it turns out I had wanted to start my own business for about a decade, but I was afraid to do it. Having a regular job with a steady paycheck, it's a little hard to leave behind. But this push in this bad economy gave me the inspiration I needed to start my own business. That failure was exactly the kick I needed to take that risk. So, failure, embarrassment, they're unavoidable. Don't try to avoid them. Don't try to escape from these negative memories. Use them, mine them for the precious treasures that they are. Find the wisdom in each one and be grateful how you've learned from them and how they've enriched your life. Then create a new story that focuses on how you've learned and grown from them and live into that story. These failures are stepping stones on your journey to greatness, and they'll give you the courage to embrace the next challenge heading your way, because there will be more. Enjoy them.